When I first started treating sports injuries, I guess that was about 20 years ago, I always wished there was a reliable way to stimulate the natural healing process for a particular injury. Now, over the years, I've used what most of the medical and physical therapies that are out there that have been used, and that includes the anti-inflammatory drugs, elevating, icing, resting, bracing or immobilizing, and then after the tissue's healed, you begin the rehabilitation process. Now, even though we do all of these treatments, I've always realized that the body has an amazing capacity to heal itself. And this one factor is by far the most important. General health has always been an important factor as well. And I would always consider how someone might heal. Let's take this 70-year-old diabetic person that's on dialysis. Well, they'll never heal as well as a healthy 18-year-old. It's critical that the athlete's health is good enough to support the anabolic process necessary to heal injured tissues. This includes factors such as nutrition, stress, sleep, and hormone levels. It's been many years ago now that I learned of a group of physicians that used a method of stimulating the natural healing response. And that's with a treatment called prolotherapy, or as some call it, an alternative name, sclerotherapy. Now, this treatment is not new. It's been used for over 50 years, and it's used to stimulate damaged tissues such as ligaments, tendons, and cartilage, and it stimulates them to heal. Now, the hypothesis for this treatment is that a person will have continued pain and instability after an injury, and that's because of incomplete healing of the tissues. This will cause the ligament or tendon to stretch beyond the normal amount that it would normally stretch, and this activates pain receptors that are abundant in these tissues. Now, why don't these tissues heal? I guess that's the million-dollar question that I don't know if we know the answer to that. Tendons and ligaments especially have relatively poor blood supply. If you've ever looked at them, like if you're in surgery or see an open wound, you can see that they're white. In other words, they don't have any blood supply. So that's one reason that they might not heal. But if, like I always say, that we're so magnificently designed, then why is there seem to be an epidemic of failed healing? Well, the short answer is probably drugs, especially the NSAID drugs, which block healing and are almost universally prescribed by emergency room docs. And they're available everywhere across the land over the counter. Now, the other major contributor, I think, to poor healing is poor nutrition. So I see patients by the boatloads that are months or even years out from their injury and they still have pain. Now, the premise of prolotherapy is that by injecting the structure with an irritating substance, the body's own natural healing mechanism is activated and the area is strengthened and the pain resolves. This is essentially giving you a second chance to correct the drug side effect and/or poor nutrition. The strengthening effect for this treatment has been documented in animal studies. Now, I learned the technique and I applied it to my patients and also, by the way, to myself. I'm now a huge fan of this procedure, and many of my patients have been able to avoid surgery and they've been able to keep exercising just because of this treatment. Now, if you think you might be a candidate for this treatment, find a doctor near you that has the experience with the technique. Now, the healthcare system in this country could care less if you heal your injury. They want you to go with the flow, and that's to take your drugs without complaining, and then when the time comes, they'll be glad to replace your worn-out joint. That's if you have a good health insurance policy. A website for a prolotherapy doctor referral list is aaomed.org or getprolo.com. If you like this video, please subscribe to the channel. A transcript is available on the website at naturalfoodsdiet.org. This is Dr. G. Thanks for watching.